right, thank you so much. Here, the program still this morning on ITV. Yeah, now I told you that we are going to be looking at the anti-open grazing bill before the Edo State House of Assembly as we speak. And this issue of the grazing bill has been on for quite some time now. By my count, it's almost about 2 years that the people of Edo State, had to tell the government of the day that there is a need for us to have, an open grazing bill in the state. And as we speak now, the state government had sent a bill to the Edo State House of Assembly, which is under consideration. But somehow there are reactions here and there. Only a few days ago, we saw some members of the civil society groups in Edo State coming together to kind of make a reaction on some of the allegations making the rounds that the Edo State government or that the Edo State House of Assembly intend to cede some portions of lands in Edo State to cattle rearers in the state. And this is not, coming too well on the part of the people. Some have also argued that there is the need for people in the state, for citizens of the state to have an input into the bill. And this is something that seems to have been somehow secretive, so to say now, because some analysts have also said that the bill seems to be a secretive one, that nobody has seen the bill. But we're lucky enough to have a copy of the bill, so we're going to be seeing 1 or 2 items in the bill so that you get to know that the bill is not secretive after all. But to discuss all this morning, we are so privileged to have Harrison Ezeko, who is a public analyst and also a political analyst. Hi, welcome to this program.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, viewers.
We also have leftist Kechi St. Lawrence, a human rights activist and a public affairs analyst. St. Lawrence, you're welcome to this program.
Thank you, viewers.
All right, so Harrison, we'll start with you. Give us your insights about what you think, going on at the Edo State House of Assembly as it relates to the open grazing bill.
Well, thank you very much. I think first, the bill is an executive bill, and there have been so much. It's overdue because of the way and manner our brothers who are into this business are not going about it. Because of the insecurity within our system, there was need for this bill to be sent to the State House of Assembly so that we can control the menace of these cattle rearers. I think the bills before the State House of Assembly, they are working on it. The protests that came up, well, I wouldn't say it's bad, but I think that is the duty, as our duty as civil society, to create a consciousness when we feel that maybe in our thinking, the end point might not go the way we want it. We need to let the public so all of us can be at alert. I think what is important is that the State of Assembly should do a public hearing on this bill, let people make their input, let people speak the way we want it to be, so that at the end of the day we can have a very effective law that will give directive on the way and manner our people are to do this business. First, I am aware and I'm sure and I know that cattle is a private business, and the people who own this cattle, and if somebody want to do his own personal business, he should also make arrangement for whatever he's doing. I think those are some of the crap the civil society was on streets a few days ago, and I believe that the speaker have assured them that they will do the needful. Okay. So we will not preempt them. Let us believe that at the end of it, it's a young one, they know what to do. They are not under pressure at all. They want the good of Edo people, and they want what is good for us, because all of us are at risk. If we allow this thing to go the way with sentiment, at the end of the day, we should be ready to dance to the music. So I know that with the leadership of my brother, the Speaker of the House of Assembly, I know that at the end of the day, we are going to see a very robust bill, and it becomes law, and everybody will be happy in the state.
Okay. All right. So, Leftist Keshi, you are a member of the civil society organization in those states. Now, your reactions, for some people, is somehow vague, because we actually saw the protests a few days ago. Peaceful protests, no doubt about it. But the reaction for some people is vague in the sense that some persons see that you guys are probably reacting to what seems that people are not making inputs into the bill, or also that you people are reacting to the allegation making around that at the end of the day, some certain portions of arable lands in the state will be ceded for cattle rearing. So what exactly are you guys reacting on?
in every distant society, there should be what is called collaboration. There should be a form of decisions. When you are taking decisions and trying to regulate what is your view, especially in these critical conditions of anti-open grazing. So many other states have signed this bill, remaining Edo State. And some persons are they are beginning to wonder in a very large extent that what is happening in Edo State is not being disclosed. It's like they are moving in a river where people are not seeing what they are doing. However, I'm not of the opinion that they are not doing anything. But when you are doing anything that seems to be so serious like this bill, you are supposed to carry the people along.
Now,
because the power belongs to the people.
Yeah, that will make me to ask you the question. Has the civil society organization, have they approached the management of the Edo State House of Assembly on this issue and they were refused?
In so many times, we have written letters of recommendation on what is supposed to be done in a civil society like ours, but they have not been response. I don't want to go into the executive aspects.
When you say a recommendation, letter recommending to the House of Assembly,
it is our, we need.
But you are aware that there is a bill before the House.
I'm aware there is a bill before the House.
So are you trying to recommend?
What we're doing is that it's checks and balance.
Okay.
In every organized society, there should be checks and balance. The people are supposed to be carried along. I remember vividly, last year there was a town hall meeting that was held, and the civil society came out in mass where the governor was there present, and we recommend so many things that will help the present government to move forward. Up till now, there have not been response on those letters that have been written. There is too much of slowness in the system, I must confess to you. So that heat, that anxiety that these people can do otherwise is what the civil society is against.
Okay. All right. So, Harrison Ezeko, the issue of the open grazing bill one more time in Edo State seems to be very worrisome. Because I remember almost about two years ago now that we had the 6-7 states in the south-south geopolitical zone in the country had to meet in Asaba. And our own governor, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, was at that meeting. And the decision was taken that, that each member state should have should have a grazing bill that will manage, grazing in each state. And back home, it almost became an issue. Eventually, we had a bill now, anyway, before the Edo State House of Assembly. But what do you think is going on? This seeming secrecy about the bill, because the people in the state seems not to be carried along, except 2 days ago that the Secretary to the State Government had to make a pronouncement, on the issue, about the bill. So what is this seeming secrecy all about? What do you think?
Well, there's no secrecy about the bill. You see, we don't rush. One of the major problems we've had over the years in this country is that we rush in taking decisions. At the end of the day, it takes us nowhere. Most of the states we are talking about, what is the effect of the bill? The issue is that we need to sit down and be articulate about it. What's going to be the end point? What should we do to stop it, not just to make a law? Like the governor said, it will not hurry to just come out with a law that cannot be effected. That is the truth. Because we know today in this country that security is something exclusive of the federal government. Now, whatever law you are making, you need the law enforcement agency to carry out the enforcement. And so therefore, whatever you are doing, you should do in line with, so that when you do in line with the laws that is on ground. The government is not that it's dragging foot. The bill is ready right now. We are there. We're going to make input. Like I said, there was a town hall meeting. You know, different groups attended that meeting. It was not only his own group that you suggested a recommendation, and maybe you are saying there was no part of it. When you suggest to people or you bring an idea, it's not compulsory that in totality everything you said will be what they are going to use to implement what they want to do. They will look at it, take the one that they understand that, okay, it is useful for what they want to do. Then others will bring their own. They look at everybody's suggestion. They will come up with something at the end of the day that will come out with law. There are ways legislators work. Like I said, one of which is a public hearing, if you have issues like this. I think that for me, I will be suggesting to the State House of Assembly to come up with another public hearing. Maybe the issues that was discussed at the last year, we now have new security issues, new ideas have come up. Some other things we need to do in another way right now. Let us talk together and let us look at the best way. Even some of those things I will talk about, some of them at the end of the day, they make provision for ranching. That if you must graze, so a particular area you do your business, you cannot stop them outrightly. That is it, because they are Nigerians like us. So if you must do business, and most of these cattle within our states here is owned by our people. Majority of it is owned by our people. Most dollars have gone into that. It's a business. So if the law is there, says that if there's no open grazing, if the law sees the light of the day, then there should also be a provision. If there's not going to be open grazing, what is not the next thing that you're supposed to do? Okay. Are we saying that no open grazing, no more cow rearing, so the business should die? What should we do? That is why we need the people. All right, if it's going to be ranching, you take responsibility. If I have a business premises and to pay for my business premises, get a place, pay for it, and do your business. If you see it outside, you have gone against the law. In summary, the State of Assembly should make this thing open. Let's call everybody together again. Let's get input. Let's not rush to do this. That is my belief. That is where I stand. So at the end of the day, it will be there was a collective decision, collective idea. And when all of us talk together, we'll come up with something reasonable, different from what we are seeing others. Our own will be more effective because why? We did not rush into it. People were moved by moralization. They were pushed to quickly just do it for the sake of making law. And those states will not do it for the sake of making law. We want to do it, that law will be effective, and at the end of the day, our people will live in a safe place.
Yeah, but we seem to be wasting time with all of this.
It's not waste of time.
The issue.
I want to say something against on what he said in some directions. He has been matching the true philosophy of insecurity. Insecurity is a very dangerous trend in our society. The government of the day is delaying so much. A lot of people are dying. A lot of people are hungry because of this menace. And you are saying that they are taking their time. What time did they expect? Is it when everybody is now dead and buried and there's no life again? What persons are you going to govern? The delay is being denied. On the other hand, they will say delay is not being denied, but delay is being denied. And this aspect of ranching, we don't need to discuss anything about ranching in this state as a state is concerned. So what we need to do? What we need to do? Our recommendations are very clear. If you want to go into ranching at all, let it be a thing that the government will take it upon. They will not leave it in private hands. The way is going to be, maybe putting it in a private hand, there should be a committee that should be set up to monitor these private people that are going to go into ranching of cattle. And remember, cattle is not the only livestock business. There are other livestock business in Edo State, in Nigeria in general. We should not be talking about cattle alone. But where the broadest share is coming out from is from this cattle. So we must give it a very fervent concern so that our directions will be clear. Ranching, private cattle rearing is a private business. It should not be seen as if it is a commodity that you want to sell as you are selling tomatoes in the market.
Okay. All right. So we have a reaction from the Secretary to the State Government talking about Barrister Osaojian Ogie on this issue. So we're going to be seeing that as this discussion progresses. Now, I also told you that for most people out there, the bill is almost something that they've not seen. It's almost a no-go area. But here at Independent, we always go the extra mile to ensure that we get you what you need to see. Now, if the PD will help us this morning, I have a copy of the bill is with me here, so the PD can please mirror that on the screen so that we get to see it. Then we also get to see the various proposals that are being made, and also just like what St. Lawrence talked about, that there is a need for committees to be set up. Now, there's also an aspect of the bill that talks about committees, which is going to be headed by the state government. So please, Mr. PD, please help us so that we get to see this bill on the screen. I have a copy of it right here on my laptop, so let's get to see that on the screen so that viewers out there can get to see that. Anyway, as we are with that now, let's quickly see the reaction that the Secretary to the State Government made. Now, he said that anti-open grazing bill, okay, he said that the state anti-open grazing bill is still undergoing legislation at the Edo State House of Assembly and has not been passed into law, neither it is a state policy yet. And members of the public who are concerned about parts of the bill can make inputs before its passage by the House of Assembly. Civil society groups who are raising concerns about sections of the bill can constructively engage with the Assembly and not resort to acts that could cause a breakdown of law and order in the state. Then also the Secretary continued by saying that the lawmaking process is one that involves a comprehensive assessment of a bill before passage, and it is refreshing that the conversation on the bill is generating public interest, but this must not degenerate to civil disturbances capable of being hijacked by unscrupulous elements. We hereby call on all those who are reservations, all those who have reservations about sections of the bill to explore the statutory provisions of the law in making their contributions. Osaojian Ogie Esquire, Secretary to the State Government. That's the statement from the Secretary to the State Government there. Now, Innocent, you talked about the need for us to have various committees. Now, I can't mirror that on the screen now, but I have a copy of the bill here where the bill actually talks about the need to have, ranches, and also, okay, it says that the objectives of the law shall be to create designated ranching areas for the rearing and the grazing of cattle and all that. If you go down the bill, you can also Google that. Just Google Edo State anti-open grazing bill, and you have that. Now, if you scroll down a bit now, you have the segment that talks about establishment of cattle and livestock committee. There is hereby established for Edo State a cattle and livestock control committee, in this law referred to as committee. The committee shall be constituted as follows: a chairman who shall be appointed by the governor, and the special advisor to the governor on security, and also the state chairman of the vigilante group, cabinet secretary, solicitor general of the Ministry of Justice, or the representative. So you see that already the bill is already towing that line that you earlier canvassed for. Now, if we know all this, that all that we seem to be suspecting is really not the truth. So why do we still go over to react the way we are still reacting, Lawrence?
Yeah, the civil society groups are always there to checkmate the fundamental rights of the people. That is exactly what we're doing. We have our rights. When there's any government that is not moving the right direction, the civil society group will come out to direct them on the actions that they are taking that will not be favorable to the people that voted them in. And that's exactly what we're doing. The issue of herders and farmers clash in Nigeria, not only in Edo State, should not be a thing of joke. It's not be taken for granted that people are being killed, people are being raped on daily basis, high rate of kidnapping, high rate of insecurity. It's not be a thing that we should be waiting for too long. we should learn from other states that these things are happening to and implement it in earnest without wasting time.
All right, Harrison Ezeko. Now, there are also statements making the rounds that even if this bill goes through passage and eventually gets the accents of the governor, that the bill may not be representational after all. Now, remember the 7, 8, 9 constituencies now that we don't have their representatives at the Edo State House of Assembly. So those constituencies, they don't have their inputs in the ongoing deliberation. So what do we make of such a bill that is probably only going to be deliberated upon by a section of, the society?
It does not have any bearing in as much as the people that are there right now. Those states is a peculiar place, and the territorial district is represented and will be based there. So whatever they conclude will represent the general interests of Edo people.
You saying that the can represent
as it is now, that is the constituted body, that is just what that we know. So, and they have been passing bills and laws. So whatever comes out from there, it represents Edo State
now,
as a state.
Don't you think that at the end of the day, even if we get this bill passed, maybe the bill also gets accented to by the state governor, that people from these constituencies, citizens of Edo State from these constituencies are going to react that, look, hey, we didn't have any impact.
There is no reaction, my brother. That is why, first, you saw what happened a few days ago. The civil society were protesting. They are not protesting for a section of people in the society. They are protesting for everybody in Edo State. Those who are making input. If you see the letter of the Secretary of the State Government that people should make input, it's not left on the hand of the State House of Assembly alone. It is left for our people. We are the people that are concerned. Every person within the Edo State, the bill have not been passed. It's still a bill. It's under constitution. Let everybody make input. Let everybody suggest the way they feel about it. And at the end of the day, the people will sit down and announce all these suggestions and come out with a bill, and then it becomes a law. I am very optimistic that it's going to be different from other states. For example, you saw at the committee level, the vigilante is involved. And this somebody said mixing some of those things that that was rushed, that was done in a hurry. That's why I said we are sitting down to actually come up with something at the end of the day will be implementable. If the committee that will monitor these people it captured the vigilance, that means they already have power to police anybody who is doing all these things. Than just rushing into at the end of the day, you cut them off. Because I said security issue is being controlled by the federal government. And when you don't make a law that will capture some of your local way of securing our people, that can easily give them power to stop these people, you'll be having a problem. That tells you that we are thinking ahead. And the state government have a direction. In another few days, this thing will become a law. But thank God for the copy, because most of those people who went out, they have not seen the copy. It was what the society was canvassing is actually captured in the bill. Everything they've said is captured in the bill. All they suggested is there. They talk about the issue of ranching is there.
But the civil society never canvassed for sections of the lands,
The bill did not also tell you that they will be giving people land free of charge.
But you talked about ranching.
When you say ranching, wait, if I have a ranch, if I'm into the business, I have a ranch, is it government that will come and buy land for me? So the bill did not say that government will give people land for ranching. It's there now. You see where it was written there? So that when we have info, let us come with the real information. The government talk about ranching. If they are saying no open grazing, there must be a solution to those who are doing the business. That is my argument. I have people who are doing the business. Those who are doing business will now what? Take the issue of ranching. Then if I'm doing my business as a furniture maker, is it government that will come and buy where I'm using for? If you are doing the business there, you go and build your place, put your cow there, put people that are going to be managing for them will be there. That is ranching. Okay. So government did not put it on the bill that they are giving land for ranching.
All right. Yes.
The constant maintenance of ignorance is an open door to your oppressors. When you are maintaining ignorance for a long time, you give loopholes for your enemy to attack you. The way the government of the day is trying to direct these things, there's a danger, there's a time bomb, if not being checkmate.
How do you mean?
At this early stage.
How do you mean?
Sir, what we're saying, we're trying to tell the government of the day the danger of how they intend to do. Some of those bills, some of those laws should be expunged.
Like where?
Like, I will take from that section 41. I don't know whether...
yeah, it's about 24 pages.
Okay.
The bill is 24 pages.
What we're saying, what I'm trying to explain here is trying to, use an animal that is dangerous.
What is petting, sir? Then they should remove ranching.
What I'm saying is that Edo people have no inch of the land to give.
The law never did, bill never says so.
What he's trying to say here is that there's going to be a committee.
Yes,
now,
to monitor.
Yeah.
The committees to monitor the ranching. The bill never says that the Edo State government will give a private businessman land to go and do ranching. That is not the bill. Okay. There will be ranching. If you say no open grazing, the next option is ranching.
All right, so Lawrence,
if you do ranching, people are there to monitor it.
There shouldn't be an inch of the land that should
so
be given.
That because people are doing the business should go out of business.
I'm not saying there should be total disband of cattle rearing, but with specific recommendation.
Okay. That is the recommendation which is the committee to monitor it.
We don't have time because we are so tight with time here. We are so loaded with issues here today. So these issues are still ongoing. As we speak now, deliberations are still ongoing about the bill at the Edo State House of Assembly. And just like what the Secretary to the State Government said, that for members of the public who are so concerned, interested, you can actually make your write-up or approach the Edo State House of Assembly on this bill issue, and your contributions is going to be considered. All right, so that was all time. Will take us to take on this segment now. We'll just take a short pause for the segment. You stay tuned. And a very big thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's nice meeting you.